Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into Pakistani life.
Right.
And wow, just glancing at these sources, this is going to be good.
Yeah, looks like we've got a lot to cover.
I'm already seeing Hollywood, festivals, and even some economic stuff. I think this deep dive is going to surprise a few people.
Definitely. Pakistan's way more than what we see on the news, that's for sure.
All right, so where do we even start?
Well, the sources mention a bunch of different provinces: Punjab, Sindh, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Oh, yeah, Balochistan and Gilgit-Baltistan, too. So I'm guessing that means Pakistan's not like one big single culture.
Not at all. Each province has its own distinct identity and traditions. It's incredibly diverse.
Okay, I love that. Diversity always makes things more interesting, right?
Huh?
Speaking of interesting, one of the sources mentioned festivals. And not just any festivals, but vibrant celebrations. What's the story there?
Well, we all know about Eid, of course. It's huge in Pakistan, marking the end of Ramadan. But there are so many other festivals, too, like Basant, the Kite Festival. It's especially big in Punjab.
Kite Festival. That sounds incredible. What's it like?
Imagine this. The sky's filled with colorful kites. People are packed on rooftops cheering. There's music and dancing in the streets. It's a total celebration of spring and Punjabi culture.
Okay, I'm picturing it, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Are there any other festivals we should know about?
Yeah, definitely. There's Eid Milad-un-Nabi, which is a religious observance for the Prophet Muhammad's birthday. And then you have Muharram, a period of mourning for Shia Muslims.
Wow, so it's not all just parties and kites? There's a lot of history and religious significance mixed in, too.
Exactly. Pakistani culture is full of layers. It's really fascinating to explore.
You know what else is fascinating? Food. The source mentions some dishes I've never even heard of. Biryani, nahari, halim, peye. Are these everyday meals or like special occasion foods?
Well, it depends. Biryani, the rice dish, that's classic. You can find it everywhere, any day of the week.
Okay, so like a Pakistani staple like pizza here, I guess.
Pretty much. But nihari, the slow-cooked stew, that's more of a weekend or special occasion dish.
Got it. And what about those other two?
Halim is a hearty porridge that's super popular during Ramadan, perfect after a day of fasting.
Makes sense. And pay.
Pay's a bit more adventurous. It's a stew made with trotters. Delicious, but maybe not for everyone.
Okay, noted. Maybe we'll stick to the biryani for now. But hey, all this talk about Pakistan's got me thinking about their economy too. The source mentioned it's not just textiles and agriculture anymore. What else is going on?
You're right. Those are still big industries, but Pakistan's tech scene is booming right now.
Really? Like Silicon Valley style?
Not quite Silicon Valley, but there are tons of startups popping up, especially in e-commerce and software development.
Interesting. So what kind of impact is that having on the job market?
Well, it's creating a demand for new skills, like coding and digital marketing.
Right, so it's not just your traditional jobs anymore. What about education? Does the education system support this tech boom?
It's trying to. There are public and private schools, but honestly, there's a big quality gap between them. Well, private schools are usually better, but they're expensive, so not everyone can afford them. Public schools are more accessible, but often struggle with resources.
Ah, I see. So your education can really affect your job prospects later on. What about the students? What kind of careers are they aiming for these days?
The usual suspects are still popular: medicine, engineering, business. But you know what's cool? Creative fields are on the rise.
Like what?
We're seeing more young people going into graphic design, filmmaking, music, even fashion.
Wow, that's great. So it's not just about crunching numbers anymore. There's room for creativity, too.
Exactly. And that's partly thanks to social media and the whole digital economy. It's giving them new ways to express themselves and build careers.
I'm sensing a theme here. Technology is changing the game in Pakistan. But we can't ignore the political side of things either. This source mentions major political parties, economic concerns. What's the political landscape like right now?
Well, it's a multi-party parliamentary system, so it can get pretty complex. You've got the PTI, the PMLN, the PPP, and a bunch of others, each with their own ideology and supporters.
It sounds like there's a lot of debate and back and forth. What are people most concerned about these days?
The economy is a big one. Inflation's hitting everyone hard, and unemployment's a major issue, too.
Yeah, those are real struggles. So how's the government responding?
They're trying different policies and programs, but it's a tough situation. It's a reminder that even with all the cultural excitement and economic growth, there are real people dealing with tough realities every day.
Absolutely. It's important to keep that in mind. Speaking of everyday life, the source mentions Pakistani weddings and family values. What's that all about?
Family's at the heart of Pakistani culture, And weddings are massive celebrations. We're talking multi-day events with tons of traditions and rituals.
Give me the highlights.
Okay, so there's the Mendi ceremony, where the bride gets henna tattoos, lots of music, dancing, and laughter. Then there's the Barat, the groom's procession. It's a huge spectacle with decorated cars and even more music.
Sounds lively.
Oh, it is. And then there's the Walima, the wedding feast hosted by the groom's family. It's all about showing off their hospitality.
So basically, a Pakistani wedding is like a week-long party.
Pretty much. But what about everyday life? The source talks about the differences between rural and urban life.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Is it a big contrast?
Big time. In the cities, like Karachi or Lahore, life's super fast-paced. People work long hours, commute through crazy traffic, and the cost of living's high. But there's also a ton of energy.
Yeah.
Street food, markets, cultural events, it's all happening.
Sounds a bit like New York City, maybe.
Maybe a little, but in rural areas, things are way more laid back. Life centers around agriculture, family, and tradition. It's slower, simpler, and people are more connected to the land.
So it's like two different worlds within one country.
Exactly. And each has its own charms and challenges. But hey, everyone needs a break sometimes, right? That's where entertainment comes in.
Speaking of which, the source mentioned Lollywood, Pakistan's film industry, and popular TV dramas. What's the scene like?
Lollywood's been through some ups and downs, but there's a new wave of filmmakers shaking things up. They're exploring new genres, tackling social issues. It's exciting to see.
And what about those dramas? What makes them so popular?
Pakistani dramas are known for their strong storylines, engaging characters, and they often touch on important social issues, too. They've got a huge following, not just in Pakistan, but across South Asia and even internationally.
Wow, so they're making a real impact. I'm guessing social media plays a role in all this, too.
Huge role. Platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram are huge in Pakistan.
I can imagine. It's the same everywhere these days.
It's true. Social media has become a major force in Pakistan. It's how young people connect, share their thoughts, and engage with political and social issues. It's also given a platform to influencers and content creators who are shaping the cultural landscape.
That's really interesting. So even with all the economic and political challenges, there's this vibrant creative scene emerging. But let's shift gears for a second. The source also highlighted some amazing tourist destinations: Naran, Swat, Hunza.
Oh yeah, and Karachi and Lahore. Pakistan has so much to offer visitors, from stunning natural beauty to rich history and culture.
Okay, sell me on each one. What makes them unique?
Naran and Swat in the north are all about mountains, valleys, and crystal clear lakes. Perfect for hiking, trekking, just enjoying the fresh air.
Sounds peaceful. What about Hunza?
Hunza's even further north. It's famous for its breathtaking valley, ancient forts, and the incredible hospitality of its people.
Okay, I'm adding that to my travel bucket list. What about Karachi?
Karachi's the bustling port city, a real melting pot of cultures. It's got historic architecture, vibrant markets, and amazing street food. You can really experience the energy of Pakistan there.
And last but not least, Lahore.
Lahore is the cultural heart of Pakistan. Think magnificent Mughal-era architecture like the Badshahi Mosque and Lahore Fort. It's steeped in history and tradition.
Wow, this all sounds amazing. But real talk, what should someone know before traveling to Pakistan?
First off, be prepared for the warmth and hospitality of the people. They'll go above and beyond to make you feel welcome.
That's always a good thing to hear.
It is, but it's also important to be mindful of local customs. Dress modestly, be respectful of traditions, and get ready for some amazing, but maybe spicy food.
Spicy food and warm hospitality. I'm in. So, after this deep dive, what's your biggest takeaway?
For me, it's the resilience of the Pakistani people. They face a lot of challenges, but they're also incredibly creative, energetic, and community-oriented. It really makes you think about the power of human connection and the beauty you can find even in the face of adversity.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This has been an eye-opening deep dive. I think we've only scratched the surface of Pakistani life, but it's clear there's so much more to discover.
Absolutely. And hopefully, this deep dive inspires our listeners to explore further.
To everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this journey into Pakistani life. Until next time.
Take care.